Hello and welcome to part 2 of our PHP introduction. Today we talk about test project planning. Therefore I already opened our planning view, our test planning view in our PQSource Planner, which we can see here. And here what we can see is a project, a certain project number, and the items of this project are displayed here in the calendar. Below there is another project, so we can not only show one project, we can also show different projects in one calendar. It depends on what you prefer to see. Underneath, what we see here is a test series. A test series is a combination of an amount of tests which are necessary to be done. So here we have different test items belong to test series. So this is our project tree which we have on the left side in this example, and on the right hand side what we see here is we see our test series with their whole time period, and below that we see the different test items here, what we need to do in our test series. An example, pressure loss tests, performance tests, whatever tests you do, you would put here into the test series. So this is our calendar. So this calendar also can be changed very easily. So if you need to move in your time planning, you just move it to left or to the right. And if you have some other time horizons, for example, some companies even need some planning based on years, that's no problem. You just zoom in and you zoom out. So now we are here in our project view again. So what we can do here is we can also change the timing of the items. You can just move it to left or to the right and so on. So this is what we see here in this calendar. Depending on the status of the test, we also see we have different color schemes behind that one here. So we have green and blue. Green means it's already, test is already done. Blue means it is still in the planning phase. So this is already very much a good graphical overview. Let's now together have a look into the details. Therefore I opened this test series here, and we see here a lot of details about the test series, and those details depend very much on the configuration of the system, on your location. So here we have one example where we put some information about the applicant, about the sample parts, and so on into our test series form. So besides those information, what is important in this view is that we have a look on our test items. So here we now see our test items of our test series. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 test items, and we already see after having a final pressure loss test we needed to repeat it and say it's a really final pressure loss test. Now let's do following. Let's create a new item. So, and therefore we just copy the last test steps because we are lazy. So, and this one we call really final pressure loss test. Okay, so we think now we really should finish this test series. So anything else we don't really care about. Test result will come later. Engineering and performance test bench we don't care so much about now. We just want to have this test. So it's in our planning, and we also need to move the timing. We move it a bit to later. So what the system also just now did is it recognized that the series, the end of the series, will automatically be postponed due to this test, and we agreed to that. Okay, so we also see that this green beam became a bit longer now. So this is how we create a new test in our design verification plan. Depending on your process, it's also possible to get to create it with some approval fields that the manager needs to approve that, and so on. Good. What else can we see here? We can remove test items. We can change, for example, we can change the order of those test items. We can change the view and so on. Okay. So Let's go back to the calendar. So we save here, successfully saved, and we see now here in our project calendar we automatically have a new item. And not only that, now let's have a look what the test bench operator on this test bench sees. So here on our test benches now we see there is a really final pressure test which has been added here to the list for the planning. Let's go back to our project view. So with those new items, with moving items, I can maintain my project plan. And the big advantage is if somebody else changes his planning on a test bench, so if I change things here on a test bench, then automatically also the view here on this project plan will be updated. So the project planner, the project manager, always sees the most recent planning of the tests. So as we now update and change the test planning, maybe it's 3 or 4 months later, we might be interested in how much did our project plan change compared to the initial planning. And therefore the system offers also something. Now I just press the export, this also works, see. But what the system offers you for this planning comparison is it gives you the possibility to look into the history of the planning and now finds there was an initial planning done with this project. So, and this one here we can open and compare. So what we see here now is the same project with different test series. Here we open the test series, and we can see there have been a lot of updates in the test series, and also in the calendar. If we have a look here at the calendar view, we also see things changed a bit since the initial planning. So this, to see those two different versions, gives the project manager the possibility to track the changes in a project compared to the initial planning, and might answer questions like, are we successfully going forward with the project, or are we exceeding our original planned tests, and many other questions. So, and this is what this view, this project view, is good for. So now we go back to the initial planning. So after having a look into this project planning view, now I also like to show you another feature. After we did our planning, after we did our testing, we might have to search for some tests. So we might just remember certain things which occurred in the test. So, and therefore the PRP provides you with a full text search. So an example here, I just press some item I have in my head, and I get a full list of any activities which ever occurred where this expression somehow is in part of the test specification or activity specification. So if I get a lot of results, I still can drill down a bit and say I only want to have a look at leakage tests, which I see here now. And here example, we have found a leakage test, and there is a engineer, and he had exactly this phone number. This is why we found it. Of course, from here we also can open the test and look into the details. So this is a very powerful feature for you to find tests which you might have conducted in the past. So now I'm already at the end of my introduction about PRP. You have now in part 1 you saw a bit about resource planning, about test templates, about how to plan the tests on test benches, how to create a work plan. You saw some things about how we generate statistics in PRP. Today you have seen a bit about project planning, about test series, how do we maintain our test series, about labeling and research. And I hope this helps you to get a good picture about PRP. For more information, we are happy if you could contact us. For now, we thank you very much for your attention and say goodbye.